welcome back for day 2 of our 12 days of crochet mischief. The clue for today is this animal is a general menace, the fact that it's on day 2, and the fact that it's been seen to be pulling up tent pegs just because it can. So, are you ready to know what it is? Here it is. Don't forget to stick around until the end of the video for a clue as to who we are making on day 3. I'm going to go ahead and guess that a lot of you got this one correct, because we've made a lot of this kind of creature this year, but it's the final size that we're missing, and it is a little raccoon. And it is specifically the day 2 raccoon from the I double a pattern every day video, and it's the last one of those 5 patterns that isn't available somewhere. So we were holding it in reserve for the 12 days of crochet, and now it is here. And this little guy is going to take you about half an hour to make. Okay, let's talk tools and materials. So to make our little raccoon today, you're going to need 8-ply 100% acrylic yarn in 3 main colors. So you're going to need a little bit of white, mainly a light gray, and either some dark gray or black. Now I use dark gray on camera just because I think the stitches show up a little bit better, but you can absolutely use black for this instead. You're also going to need a scrap amount of, I know we've already said white, but scrap amount of white and scrap amount of black, and a needle to add the finishing details. I've just already got these 2 threaded, but 1 needle is obviously fine. Otherwise, this pattern is also no-sew. A pair of 9mm safety eyes, a 3.5mm hook, scissors, which were on screen the whole time, some stuffing, and also I just recommend having a stitch marker or a bobby pin available to help you keep track of the end of your row. But that's it. So, today's little raccoon. So for our little raccoon, he's entirely crochet and color changes except for the little black spot of his nose and the white stripes on his tail. And you can see here I got a little bit lazy adding the stripes. If you like, I'll show you how you can be lazy too. Yeah, we are going to start in the middle of the face with a little bit of white. Now have your light grey ready to go. There is a number of color changes and one of them comes up right at the end of the magic ring. I'm so sorry. In our white, we are going to make a magic ring of 3, but we're going to change to our grey in the 3rd stitch. Now, color changes in a magic ring have to be one of the fiddliest, nastiest things to try and do, but it has to be done, so sorry. So that's 2 stitches in. I'm going to suggest that you tighten your magic ring at this point, leaving enough room for the hook to still get through, but it'll just be easier if you have a slightly smaller gap to work with. And then in this 3rd one, we're going to work a color change. Now, color changes themselves are pretty easy, and you've probably done a lot of them if you're up to this point, but we're going to insert our hook into the magic ring, yarn over and pull up a loop of our white, hold that white out of the way, grab a strand of our light grey, which I will be calling just grey from now on, and pinch that on the inside of the magic ring, so that's the side facing away from you, at the base of the stitch. And that's why we pull the magic ring shut first. It just makes this whole thing a little bit more stable. Just yarn over and pull through with that grey. And just tug on the white to scooch that down a little bit and tighten your magic ring the rest of the way. So I'm really sorry for combining a magic ring of 3 with a color change, but that is arguably the hardest part of this whole pattern. It should leave you with a magic ring of 3 white stitches, and your grey is now on your hook ready to go. I'm just going to turn this over, and I'm just going to tie the grey end to the white strand just to like lock it all in place so nothing pulls free. Like so. Then I'm going to trim my white off, because you don't work in it again. We use it to add stripes at the end, but that's it. So there we are at the end of row 1. So row 2 is worked entirely in our grey, and we're going to put 4 single crochet all into the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you're like me and you struggle to pick up the back loop of a stitch, that's not going to be any easier if you're working a tiny magic ring. So you'll note that I just worked all of those stitches just in the front loop, and that is an absolutely fine coping mechanism if you can't get your hook through both loops of that particular stitch. We're then going to work a single crochet and then 4 single crochet into the final stitch of the round. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you should have a tiny little white snoot, but 9 stitches in your round, all in grey. So row 3 starts with an increase, then a single crochet, 3 single crochet all into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochet across the bottom of the head, 1, 2, and 3, 3 single crochet all into the same stitch, 1, 2, and 3, then a single crochet and an increase back to the start of our row, leaving you with 15 stitches in your round. Then in row 4, we're going to start with a single crochet changing to our black. Now, as mentioned, I'm using charcoal instead of black, but I'm going to be calling it black for the sake of clarity between the grey and the grey, if you know what I mean. So it's the same way we did the first colour change, just 1,000 times easier, because it's not in a magic ring. This time we will not be trimming any colours off, just because we will be changing backwards and forwards between these two colours as we finish working up this particular piece. It is up to you whether or not you choose to carry the other colour along for every stitch, or if you just pull it across the inside of the work. I tend to just pull mine across when it's something this little. Okay, so in our black, we are going to work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, changing to our grey in the 5th stitch. 2, 3, 4, then changing back to our grey. In our grey, work a single crochet 3 together, and that is just a decrease over 3 stitches, so you can do that the standard way of insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, insert your hook into the 2nd stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and insert your hook into the 3rd stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, so you've got 4 loops in total on your hook, then yarn over and pull through all 4. So that is a standard single crochet 3 together and is a little bit less fiddly for a pattern like this. But you can also do it an invisible way, where you just pick up the front loops only, 2, 3 of the 3 stitches you want to decrease over, then yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops, leaving you with 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through those 2. Tends to sit a little bit flatter, and that's why it's called like an invisible stitch. Either is perfectly fine for this particular pattern. I tend to use the invisible form just by default, but I'll let you know if I swap to the standard form for particularly tricky places. Then 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, then another single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet changing back to our black. In our black, we're going to work 5 single crochet into the same stitch, changing back to our grey. 3, 4, and 5. Back to our grey. Then 1 single crochet to finish our round. So there we are at the end of row 4. It doesn't look like much yet, but we are going to stop at this point and pop our eyes in. Now, safety eyes aren't really mandatory for this particular one, but I have used them here, so I thought we'd use them here as well. All you do with these is you plonk them into row 2 on either side of our tiny little white dot, as evenly as possible. And that is where I'm going to be putting mine today. All right, I'm just cutting in here from the future just to say that I put his eyes in very crooked, so don't do what Donnie Don't does. If you keep it so that there is just 2 stitches visible between them, no matter how crooked that looks to you at the time, they will come out looking more like this. So, yeah. Mwah! And I'm going to snap the backs on. There will be no popping sounds. These eyes have let me down too many times in the past. There we go. So heading into row 5, we're going to start with a decrease. So that's 1 grey stitch and 1 black stitch. We're then going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that final black stitch, work a single crochet. Make sure that your stitch is going to fall behind the little ear that we've just made, and make sure that your ear has to be on the outside for it to be helpful. Then we're going to work 2 repeats of a single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet. So it's our first repeat. We're going to do it again. Single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet, which should be the first black stitch of that second ear. We're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and work a decrease. That is 1 black stitch and 1 grey stitch, bringing us to the end of our round. My little guy, I have put your eyes in crooked. I can live with that. So that's where we are at the end of row 5. Row 6, we start with 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. We're then going to put 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A single crochet, and then 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's where those 2 front feet are going to end up being. Then it's just 2 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1 and 2. I'm getting a little tangled. I'm just going to stop and clean up a little. For row 7, we start with an increase, then 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to work the little foot. So all into the same stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochet in our grey, changing to our black. So 1, 2. Then still working into that same stitch, we're going to work 3 black stitches, changing back to our grey. 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 stitches in total, all into the same stitch. 2 of them are in grey and then 3 in black. Working in our grey, we're going to work 5 single crochet across the tummy, changing back to our black in the 5th stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then once again, all into the same stitch, we're going to work 3 black single crochet, changing back to our grey. 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 grey single crochet into that same stitch. 1 and 2. So that's once again 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 3 of them are black and then 2 of them are grey. We're then going to work 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. And an increase to bring us back to the start of our round. And you should have 25 stitches in total in your round at this point. And I am going to trim off my black at this point and just reattach it for the back feet just to avoid the little tangles going on. You don't have to do that. So row 8 starts with 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then a decrease. Which should mean the next stitches of your row are the 3 black stitches, and we're going to skip all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, making sure they pop out to the outside to form a tiny little paw, and we're going to work a decrease in the next 2 stitches. So, oh, she's tiny little foot. Hello. Then a single crochet, a decrease, skip 3 more stitches, 1, 2, 3, and work a decrease on the far side of them as well. For a second little paw. Hello. Perfect for grabbing. They are his murder mittens. Then 5 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we should have just 15 stitches in our round at this point. We should have a head, eyes, even if they are a little crooked like mine are, I'm fine with it. 2 little ears and 2 little pawsies. Row 9 is 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, an increase, a single crochet, 3 together, a single crochet, another single crochet 3 together, then 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and an increase to bring us back to the start of our round. In the next row, row 10, we're going to be starting the back feet. So we start with 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next stitch of your round should be the single crochet 3 together we did in the previous round. And we're going to put 5 single crochet all into it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a single crochet, and then 5 single crochet all into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the start of where those little back feet are going to sit. Then it's just 5 single crochet back to the start of our round. So that it leaves us with 21 stitches in our round. So for row 11, we're going to start with 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And in the next stitch, we're going to form the little feet, and they are done exactly the same way as we did the front feet. So we're going to work all into the same stitch, 2 single crochet in our grey, changing to our black, 1 and 2, then 3 single crochet all into that same stitch in our black, changing back to our grey. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 stitches in total, all into the same stitch, 2 in grey and then 3 in black. Then in our grey, we're going to work 5 single crochet across, changing back to our black in the 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, changing back to our black. Then we're going to build the final little foot. So that's 3 stitches in our black, changing back to our grey. And 2 grey stitches all into that same stitch as well. So 1 and 2. So 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, first 3 in black and then 2 in grey. Then it's just 7 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 6, and 7. Leaving us with 29 stitches in our round, but we're going to be getting rid of a lot of those in the next 2 rows. So row 12 starts with 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. Then a decrease, bringing us up to our first little patch of black stitches, and we're going to skip all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, and work a decrease on the other side. Hello, little foot. Eee! Oh, he's ticklish, I'm sorry. Then a single crochet and a decrease. Skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and a decrease on the other side. There we go. It's 4 fiendish little kickers. And then 7 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. Oh my goodness. Please note that your head will not be as tilted as this. It's just, it gives this appearance on mine because of where I've put that eyeball creeping down his face. I'm wondering if I can, no, I can't even get in there to detach it at this point. I feel bad. His eyes should look like this, okay? I put one down just 1 stitch too far and it's throwing me off really badly. Okay, row 13. We're going to start with a decrease, then 3 repeats of single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet. So there is our first one, and we're going to do that 2 more times. So single crochet 3 together, and single crochet. It's 2, single crochet 3 together, and single crochet. That's 3. We're then going to single crochet 3 together. And decrease. leaving us with just 9 stitches in our round. And at this point, we are going to stuff our poor little fellow here. Just as much as you can. Like, don't try and like force it in there, but just something to help his little body hold shape a little better. Yarn offcuts are a great option for stuffing these little guys, just because there's so many tightly packed stitches. A lot of them will hold their shape anyway. It's just in case they get flattened or squeezed at any point. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of squish in there to absorb some of that. There we go. Good squidgy little body. Covering up that eye so you can... Okay, then row 14, we're going to work a decrease, a single crochet, a single crochet 3 together, 1, 2, 3, another single crochet, and a decrease changing to our black. So we won't be needing our light grey again, but I'm a little superstitious, so I'm going to leave it attached for one more row. Now we have our black back on our hook. We are going to work 7 rows of 5 single crochet around for a combined total of 35 stitches. There is our little French fry, and we're gonna finish off. So we're going to just close off our little opening by taking our tail and weaving it around through the front loops only of each of the remaining stitches. 3, 4, and 5. Pull that closed. And tuck that end away inside. So that is what our little raccoon looks like at this point. And he's just missing a couple of key details. So first up, I am going to take a little bit of black, actually black this time, and I'm just going to sew a little black spot right smack bang in the middle of that white spot on his face. Does not have to be large, but he looks very funny without it. He smells terrible without his nose. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's so small. Maybe a little bigger than that. There we go. And finally, he just needs some little white stripes on his tail. Now he's meant to have 6 black, charcoal, whatever, stripes. So that means we need to do 5 white stripes. I'm going to show you the absolute cheatiest way to do this so you can stitch them on however you would please. Just going to start by locking my yarn in place. You ready for this? Wrap it around, back where, and then back in and up from where we started. Oh, look at that. That's a whole stripe. And we're going to do it again. In and out. I'm using the rows to help a little bit with this. That's 2 little stripes. And around. 3. 4. And final one. And trim off. And there is our finished day 2, which just also happens to be the day 2 raccoon. Or, if you don't put his eyes in crooked, he looks like this. So there is day 2 done. Okay, so the clue for day 3 is that people love it when this particular animal brings them like trinkets and money. But that money has to come from somewhere, and that is how this animal's ended up on this list. Also, there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what this animal's name is, but I'll have to explain that tomorrow. So tomorrow's pattern is going to take about 40 minutes, and you're going to need either a black or a dark grey and a light grey. I hope to see you there. Okay, bye. Alrighty, so here is our communal scurry of squirrely squirrels. And honestly, it is a veritable squirrel army I have to share with you today, which is why there is 4 on the screen at a time. I'm basically going to be trying to pack as many photos as I can into the end of each video, but please don't be sad if you do not spot yours today. If you didn't make the cutoff time, please know that we still love seeing photos of what you've made, and you are still encouraged to share them in the Discord. Any photos that don't quite make the cutoff time or have to get cut because we just have too many will still show up over the course of the full 12 days, and also in the day 13 wrap-up video. Hold on, what was the tally for the day? Head down, 1 second. Bear with me, folks. There we are. So the tally for today came in at 298 squirrels. So I don't know about you, but I'm like, I think we should be very pleased with ourselves about that. Yes.